Good morning. It is Roz here, your health and wellness strategist, teaching you how to have a healthy mind, body, and life you love. So I want to talk today about burning fat and reducing your insulin. So in order to burn fat, you're going to have to reduce your insulin. There's no other way around it. You have to do that. So you might be saying, well, Roz, how am I going to reduce my insulin? So let me tell you, you're probably not going to like this, but it just has to be told. So in order to reduce your insulin, and then in other videos after this, I'll talk about the effect of insulin on the body and on fat and on diabetes. I'm really going to go hard from now to the end of the year with diabetics because it's getting to be an epidemic now, whereas 2/3 approximately of African Americans are diabetic or pre-diabetic. So we have to be able to get those numbers down and get this under control. But for this video, we're talking about burning fat, which as women, we always down for some remedies and strategies to help burn this goddamn fat. So how do we do that? How do we cut our insulin down so that we have a better chance of burning fat? So one, you have to cut your carbs. I know you hear this all the time, but you absolutely have to cut your carbs. Hey, Miss Tonette. And let me tell you, because I had to write this list down because the list is kind of long and you might be thinking, well, heck, after this, what am I going to eat? But you have to cut your carbs for so many reasons that I'll talk about in more videos, but this is just non-negotiable, period. So the carbs you must cut: bread, pasta, crackers, cookies, rice, cereal, waffles, pancakes, muffins, flavored yogurt, juice, syrup. I mean juice out of the can, box, carton, all of that. Like those things you absolutely have to cut out of your diet. If you are, this whole moderation queen or king, cutting carbs out in moderation means that one day a week you go ahead and have that one thing that you want. That's moderation. Number 2, avoid mixing proteins and sugars, which is also meat and carbs, because the meat is a protein and carbs turn into sugar. So avoid mixing proteins and sugar because those two heavily spike insulin. And we'll talk about that in future videos. Number 3 is you have to reduce your excess protein. Excess protein is going to spike your insulin. The body can only use up to about 50 grams of protein a day. And if you see me looking back and forth, because I also have Instagram Live going on. My first time doing an Instagram Live, by the way. So welcome to those who are on the live. So you have to reduce your excess protein. So we only need about 50 grams of protein a day. Anything extra, the body is going to store as fat. It's going to spike your insulin level because now the body has excess amino acids that come from the protein. And when it has excess amino acids, it also has to utilize glucose in order to facilitate the amino acids. So it's all of that. So you have to reduce that. Number 4, you have to reduce your stress. Stress level is going to increase your cortisol, and through that, insulin is going to spike. So if you have that spare tire, one of the biggest reasons why you have a spare tire around your waistline mostly is due to stress. It's due to the cortisol that's spiking the insulin, that's creating that. Fat is a buffer against insulin, right? And so you have fat around your midsection because it's God's efforts to protect your organs from all of the cortisol, excess insulin that does damage to the body, all of that. And number 5 is eating too frequent meals. I don't care what your trainer, your health coach, your doctor, all of that is saying. You cannot eat 6 small meals a day. You cannot. You will have to be burning so many freaking, if you're eating 6 meals a day, you better be running a marathon every day, burning all that off, right? And so eating too frequent of meals causes an excess spike in insulin, because every single time you eat, your body is going to generate insulin in order to utilize the glucose or the sugars that's coming from what you eat, because those sugars have to go into your cells, and in order for it to get into your cells, it needs to have insulin. And so stop eating so much, and I'll talk about those in future videos. You really, really should only be eating about twice a day. Like, that's it. That's it. But it takes some time to get to that. So those are some ways, those are some things that cause insulin, and then a couple of tips on how to reduce eating and doing everything that's causing insulin to spike. So all I have for you today, this is Rosalind signing off, wishing you love, peace, and a whole lot of kale.